Welcome one and all, this is the Peace Dealer, and in this video we're going to talk about Lilith in the second house. In astrology, the second house, a very underrated house, is the house of values and material abundance. This is what KRS actually says is the true house of family, because these are the possessions you get from your mom and dad through inheritance, which is why it's opposite from the 8th house. I very much agree with that interpretation. I like the second house, however, because like I said, it marks where a person's values are. It marks what you take from a person's identity and add substance and depth to it. So when you put Lilith here, she definitely adds her spice to it. I've noticed that people with Lilith in their second house are the most likely to have exotic objects. Things that you see and you already know right off the bat are taboo, like sex toys. People with Lilith in the second house know how to look sexy with the things that they have. So it's not necessarily like a Lilith in the first house who will use their body, or a Lilith in the 5th house who will have an erotic way of expressing their heart through art. Lilith in the second house knows how to use the things they have in very sexual ways, which is once again why I said like sex toys. But honestly, Lilith in any house could have a sex toy, but no, Lilith in the second house, it's not so much that they have the sex toy, it's that they know how to use their possessions in sexual ways. Other than that, when you look at their value systems, they're very unorthodox. What they value a lot is sexual expression, and this really does get expressed in the way they garner and go out and get things in life. You'll also find that people with Lilith in the second house, they're not afraid to get their money in unorthodox ways. So at one level, you may think a Lilith in the second house would be most likely to be a prostitute or a stripper, but that's not true. A Lilith in the second house is most likely to be an owner of a strip club or a pimp. Lilith has this very grounded, sensual quality that borrows off of Taurus when it's in the second house, and it likes to feel in control. So as a result, in a negative way, just like Lilith in Taurus, Lilith in the second house could really attract people in your life who really want what you have and are willing to go do unorthodox, underhanded things to get it and be very deceptive. So you really want to be very careful. Lilith in the second house actually promises a lot of money in this lifetime, but not without sacrifice. And that sacrifice is really being ostracized. You're going to have to go through being criticized for the way that you necessarily build and gain value in this lifetime. But it's not, if anything, for some of you, that criticism can end up turning into admiration. And a lot of people can become near obsessed with the things that you have, which can make Lilith in the second a dangerous position, because people end up caring more about what you have than who you are. And this is only to mirror the shadow aspect of Lilith in the second, for where you yourself could be more into what people have than who they are. And you may be more preoccupied with having things in this life than just being or doing. So definitely something to keep in mind. Even though, once again, like I said, Lilith in the second house is a pretty strong position, and she's going to necessarily spice up your value system so it's not too traditional, and it's not necessarily with the times, but it's unique to you, unique to your sexual expression, and unique to your own ability to stand out and do what you want. you make the shots with how you spend your money and with how you have what you have. And like I said in the beginning of the video, you're most likely to have exotic items and things in this life that really, you know, make people like, whoa, that's interesting. So if you have a Lilith in the second house, please comment below certain, you know, possessions that you have that no one else would really have, or people don't have the balls to buy because it's just taboo or just exotic. And yeah, until next time, y'all.